Hello everyone, and welcome to the SaturdayMP show, episode number 4, recorded on July 4th, 2023. My name is Chris, and I'm a software consultant that helps developers and companies ship secure, high-quality software faster. And I guess before I forget, happy Independence Day to my friends in the States and my clients. And happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians. So for those who don't know, I'm actually in Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta. And Canada Day is July 1st, and it's similar to the American July 4th Independence Day. It's the day that Canada became its own country. So yeah, happy Canada Day and Independence Day. All right, so today we are going to... the other thing I should say is if you have any questions or feedback, please send an email to ask@SaturdayMP.com. That's ask@SaturdayMP.com. I'd love to get some feedback, or if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future show, or just ways I can improve this show, I'd love to hear from you. I guess you can also leave comments in the below, from the video below. I don't think I've gotten any yet, so if you do leave a comment, I'll try to remember to go look for them. I'm assuming YouTube will notify me if I get a new comment. I don't know. Leave one and I guess I'll find out. All right, so today we're gonna continue working on trying to. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Can I make that bigger? How do we go? There we go. There. We're going to continue to work on the standard RB bug, standard Ruby linter that was opened May 30th of this year. We had some feedback on it, or some back and forth, but I haven't had a chance to actually dig into it. If you remember, the last two videos related to standard, the Ruby linter, the first one was setting up a development environment, and the second one was basically fighting with RubyMine because we couldn't get the debugger to work. And it turned out there was a bug in RubyMine that was preventing that. So, and actually, we might as well make sure, I think the first thing we'll do is we'll make sure that's fixed, because I haven't actually... So usually before I record these videos, it's kind of like live coding these videos, but I do tend to upgrade. Like, there's no point in everyone watching me update all my software. But in this case, if you remember the previous video, we downloaded this preview, and that fixed the bug. And I think this 2023.1.3 will actually fix it. So I think, can I see, I think I can see what's new. Nope, that's not the right one. Oh, there. What's new in 20? Okay. Debugger's available. Is that? I'm pretty sure this is... let's open this up and see if that's actually it. Oh, yeah. This is... I'm pretty sure this was the bug that we had last time. It looks very similar. I think if we go to the bottom, remind me later. If we go down to the bottom, there was talk about the preview. Yeah, so this is what I did last time, and that seemed to fix it. So, okay, so let's let's update our version of RubyMine and see if this bug is fixed forever. So, actually, I want to go back though. How do I? Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. Let's go back to tools, because we have this preview release, but I'm going to get rid of that. So we don't want this anymore. Let's just uninstall this. And then, well, we'll just update all of them. That way I won't get confused about which RubyMine version I'm running when I go to run it. So, and then while that's doing it, let's just clean up all our old Docker files just to make sure there's nothing. And we'll just try running our development environment from scratch. All volumes. while it's installing, and then we can take a quick peek at Docker here to make sure everything's all done. It's taking a couple minutes there. Deleted. Oh, that's right. There's a bunch of extra Docker files in here because I was working on some other projects. So. All right, so is that almost done? Huh, taking a while. All right, all done. And let's just make sure. Last time we had some problem with oh, I don't know why this thing. Let's restart that. Last time we had an issue with some of the Docker volumes not getting deleted when I did a prune for some reason. So let's see. We'll do a quick check in a second. Okay. Well, that's doing that. We got the new version of RubyMine installed. Yeah. See, it doesn't actually get rid of that prune. Doesn't get rid of the volumes for some reason. So let's just do this. Yeah, some of these are for like my website and stuff, but whatever. Let's get rid of them. There's no images. There's no containers. Okay, good. All right. Let's open up RubyMine. Alright, so that's good. So let's just build our Docker container. Docker compose build. So it should, oh, what was that red? Oh, it disappeared, whatever the red was. Right. Oh, this is the wrong, this is the wrong thing. This is for my website. We don't want this. We want this guy. This window. There we go. I guess you gotta see a little bit of how the website's set up. I was experimenting actually, I can't scroll for it now, but trying to set up the, update the GitLab build for it. But I wasn't able to make much progress on that. All right, okay, so we're standard. Not in my terminal. Now let's try this here. Docker compose build. Yeah, I didn't think we needed passenger for standard. I think we just use the Alpine. Oh, it's been a while. What is that? Yeah, it's just Alpine. We didn't need a heck of a lot for this. It should be a nice quick install. And then if I want to look at no, that's not what I wanted. Let's just do get status. Right, there's nothing there. And then if I look at open up get cracking here. Which takes some, it took a minute or two there. All right, there we are, standard. Okay, yeah, so I don't have any changes or anything. Okay, good. The other thing we added was these Docker compose files, but we ignore them locally using this exclude file. And the gem file lock. Okay. All right, so we built it. What does our entry point look like? Right, so that should install all the gems. So let's just run it once. Not web app and sh because we're using Alpine. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, Docker Composer. Let's try this. There we go. Let's install my gems. If I look at the gem file, I don't have, yeah, I don't just, that's just what comes standard with passenger, or with standard. Let's just run the test just to make sure everything works. And then we'll try clicking the debug here. So if I look at the, just remind myself these configurations, it's just a standard. All right, the Ruby script I want to run is the standard executable with no arguments. I can just use Docker compose run. Okay. And then if we go put a break, I wonder if we have any breakpoints. Well, let's just go put one in. Like there's that lib standard. The CLI, is that probably one of the first things that runs? Probably. So let's put one there. All right. Oh. Oh, right. Okay, so I think the first thing we have to do, so we're getting an error message. Hopefully it's actually fixed it. Let's get rid of this and recreate it from scratch. App. Boom. Okay. I think it's got to do the downloading gems and indexing and all that stuff. Okay, so we just run it. It should just work. Like it should run standard on itself and return basically nothing. Because I don't think we have any errors. Oh, it's still indexing. Yeah, so finished with nothing. I'll just give that a second indexing, a chance to finish. All right, now let's try this. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Let's try and install them. And this is where it errored out a bunch last time. Oh, okay, yeah, we're getting the beta. Ooh, I should have watched that other video before I did this one again to remind myself, but I think we needed that beta for some reason. So the nice thing about installing the debug gems this way is I don't have to actually change the gem file and then, you know, accidentally commit it or something like that. So. Okay. Okay, there we go. Fast debugger. That's great. Oh, we hit the breakpoint. All right, so now it looks like everything's working. That is fantastic. Okay. So now let's go back and take a look at the bug we need to fix. So you're fixed, thank you. All right, so the problem was that they'd run generate to do. It'll generate a to do file, but then when you run generate to do a second time, the problem is it uses the old to do file. So then you get like either an empty to do file or to do file that doesn't have the old ones listed in it. And while I was looking around just before this video again, I noticed that someone actually created a pull request, Craig W here, that had a similar issue, and this was way back in 2000, so this has been around for a while. So apparently, yeah, and you can see that I even wrote steps to duplicate. Yeah, so there's all this workarounds. And then I looked at how the code loads the to-do files, and this is where I ran into a problem because it loads a bunch of the files, I think, before it actually right. So I think I'm taking a look at this fellow Craig's fixes and see some potential problems. So yeah, so I was just thinking not to load the standard to-do file, or even just delete it, I guess. Yeah, the problem is the command line arguments are not parsed until both YAML files are loaded in the merge setting class. So this is in builds config, I guess. So we're loading the standard, we're loading the to-do. And this loads both of them. And then merge settings. Yeah, how do I load the command line options before loading the config files? And then, okay, so why not delete the existing standard to do YAML? But I think the problem is it's already loaded. Like, you could delete it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oh, apparently I was busy back then. This is 2020. Yeah, so it looks like, I think this is still worth fixing. Or at least taking a look. Maybe something new will jump out at me. So I think the first thing I'll just try and do is duplicate it. And then I'll take a look to see if I can't figure out a way to make this go away. So how did I duplicate it here? Right. Okay. So let's move that out of the way. Well, let's create a problem. Let's where's a nice easy one? Like, what about, so if we go here, I think this is what I did last time. You just put 2 dots there. Now let's just do this in a terminal. It'll be at least for now it'll be faster. So if we just run standard RB, it should, is that what I need to do? Yeah, that's what I need to do. Yeah, okay, so there's the inconsistent indentation. Now if we generate to do, and now I go look. Ah, no. This is what I wanted. There we go. To do. There we are. All right, so I put this in here, lib standard RB layout indentation inconsistency. So now if I run standard RB, it's going to say nothing, right? Oh, okay, yeah. Right, so it is telling me that I'm ignoring files, but that's fine. And now if I run this again, I think it's going to generate an empty to-do list. Yeah, so now it's ignoring nothing. And now if I run standard, it's going to complain about that error. Right, okay. Okay, so pretty easy, pretty simple to duplicate it. Now let's see. Let's look at my notes here that I'm glad I, future me is thanking past me for writing all this down. Thanks, past me. I guess I could bring this over here. So the ignore section of the files are combined in the loads YAML config. That happens here. Builds config. So that happens pretty soon. To load the command line options before loading the config files. So let's yeah, maybe this is why I didn't fix it before, because changing how that works sounds like a lot. Like if I have to. All right, well, let's just figure out how this works. So if we run the exe, it's going to run standard CLI. I don't know, maybe this has been updated since I last checked. So standard CLI. So that's this. So you take the arguments. All right, so there's where it builds the config. And then it loads the runners. Or sorry, this is where it loads runners.new. We don't need you. Let's just put you over there. Okay, so oh, okay, so it is calling the run. So the run method on here, the first thing it does is it builds the configs, and then loads runner. What does a loads runner do? Oh, it looks like a bunch of runners. Config.runner. Oh, does builds config actually? Because there's nothing that's parsing the like there's nothing that's parsing the command line arguments here. Is that all done in the builds config? Let's see. So here's the builds config. So when we call it, right, this is what I had in my notes here. It's going to create a config store. Resolve YAML options. Yeah, that's fine. All right, what is a config store? Oh, there's a lot of things here. So resolve YAML options, load YAML config, merge settings. This is the one we want here, I think. Oh, there's a couple here. I guess this one creates config store. So it initializes, sets target Ruby version, configure ignored pass. Okay, so this is setting up the Rubocop configuration. Okay, where do the CLI arguments? Call, and then call config.runner. That's going to call that again. How do I know which runner? Okay, if I go look at runners. Gen ignore. Place to temporarily store ignored files. Oh, okay, Christy, this must be me. Gen ignore. I guess I could have called it generate to do or something. Run Rubicop to generate the files. Right, because I need to run Rubicop to get all the errors, and then I just add the errors to the, or the code, yeah. And then just exit, yeah. So that's how we know which runner, but how does it figure out? Merge setting. Was this merge settings? Do something? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so this merge settings is what looks for these arguments. I wonder where that's done here. So we call this. So we're getting argument. Is that? I think the other reason this happens too is so you can pass in any Rubocop arguments. Like they'll just get passed in, I think. So standard arg. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what partition does, but I think it's taking all. It's going to spit out 2 arrays. What is? Let's see. Is that what Ruby array partition? What does that do? Do I see partition in here? I'm assuming it's for, what's an argv? Is that an array? Partition method. Did I miss it? Partition. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so it does return 2 arrays. The first having elements. Yeah, okay, so that's what it does. So it's going to parse out these. If it finds any of these arguments, it's going to put them in the standard argv. If it, and any other arguments it finds, it's just going to assume are Rubocop ones. And then we're going to determine command. So must be in this file. So, oh, there it is. Okay, determine command. If it's, oh, okay. So this is the runner that's going to execute. So parse standard argv. Oh, right. Okay, so these are some of these command line arguments, I guess, have additional flags that can be set. And then parse the Rubocop arguments. I don't think that matters for us. Okay, so where does that merge? Right, so this merge happens before. So this is builds config. Okay, so we build the config, and okay, so I guess we would have to. Oh, is that the best place to put it? So if we were going to delete, like we can't do the delete here because we've already loaded that file. Let's just exclude. I don't know what I said, temp file. Oh, just to into a temp file, and then read the temp file. I read everything from the temp file, it looks like. YAML. Ignore the okay, and then I open this file, and then don't really, okay, so I'm setting some Rubocop options because I guess I want JSON as the output. I want the output to go to the temporary file. Oh, okay, so I want the output to go to the temporary file, and then I get the exit code, which I don't know. Oh, I return it. Okay. In case there's an error there, I guess. And then we open up the temporary file. And this ignore. Oh, okay, so we just want to ignore everything that we've. yeah, everything that has an error, we're just going to ignore it. It looks like, okay. So I can't delete things here. I would have to delete it in, oh, right. Speaking of, I don't have the standard. Yeah, so it's funny. So this is Rubocop is complaining here. But I don't think, like if I look in the gem file, there's no standard there. Yeah, so it's kind of a shame you can't have standard running on standard. So yeah, this is why I don't like the Rubocop default ones. Is there? Oh yeah, like this. I guess it's a bigger-ish method, but it's not huge. Okay. What doesn't like offenses? Oh yeah, so Rubocop like single quoted strings. It's, you know, which is pretty much improvement. Doesn't matter. Just use double quoted for everything. Like your efficiency gain is not going to be all that great. Okay, so I can't delete there. But I don't know if I want, so this seems like the wrong place to do it. Like if I find the generate to do here, I guess I could ignore it maybe. Okay, so if there's a generate to do, then we don't build config. So maybe we could do it here where we don't. Like we don't do this. Right, like if we well, let's just try commenting this out. Okay, so what is our okay, so let's put this in here. So now I have to remember, what does our current to do file look like? This guy. Okay, so it's empty. So let's just leave everything as is. Okay, check. And then let's run standard, and it should populate this ignore. Oh, I found it. Oh yeah, because of these ones. It's truly white space. Okay. So generate to do. Forgot to do that part of it. Okay, there's the to do. Now, if I comment this out and then I run this again, is it going to give me the same file? Oh, no, we got a big old... Oh, right, because this is being used. So I need basically an empty path or something. So to do nil is it's only used here, and then this loads YAML config. Is that going to complain if it's nil, or does it need to just be empty? Load standard YAML. If YAML path. Oh, looks like it might survive. Okay, so let's see. Let's try this again. It got, oh, that's because these are, okay. Yeah, if I put that back. Right, so it got rid of some of those errors because I think the ID, or I accidentally cleaned them up there myself. So let's see, that should put one of them back. But this is the one I really want, the standard.rb. Okay. Oh, so maybe that's how I fix it. Maybe I just comment that out. Huh. Or not comment, comment it out. No, maybe I, like, do we search path to do? Oh, so we're like, we have the argvs here. So I don't know if that's the best way to do that. I'll have to think about this. Well, I gotta. Well, I'm running out of time here because I got some other commitments, but I think this would probably be a good place to end this video. We have a possible solution. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some notes in here. Possible to skip loading to do YAML if argv has no, or argv has not no generate to do flag. Okay. And I like to use, all right, this is, man, back from Windows Windows batch files. I like to use REM. I used to use it just to remove, like, when I comment stuff out, to remind myself to come back and find it. I used to like to use it more than to do because everyone uses to do, and so I'm finding everyone else's to do when I search. But if I just do a search for REM and then I capitalize it, it usually shows up pretty. That works pretty good. It's probably a better one I could use too. Oh, and I guess the other thing, where's the to do? I forget. There's a to do thing for, yeah, here we go. To do. There we are. So this is the to do in RubyMine, and so you could. It's right now. It's just finding things that say that have the word to do. But I like to change it so edit the filters here. So I will add a pattern here. REM, and it's case sensitive. There. Do I need the /b? Oh, and this is like, I don't know, just put this Chris or just REM only filter or something like that. And if we go here, if I did this right and then I go REM only, there. So this is oftentimes I'll just set this filter up just so I could see my changes only. And in REM, every once in a while there's some capital, you know, someone has a capital remove in there, but it's usually pretty good at finding what I need. So anyway, I think this is a good time to, let's wrap up the video here. And yeah, and again, if you have any feedback on these kind of live coding videos, let me know. I guess I do the live coding ones because sometimes I think there's already a lot of like highly polished kind of 10-minute nothing goes wrong videos out there. So I'm trying to do something a little different. And also because I'm not very good at video editing. So I guess it's kind of a double reason why I'm doing it. But if you have any feedback or anything, you can send an email to ask@SaturdayMP.com. That's ask@SaturdayMP.com. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love if you have any questions you'd like me to answer in a future video. I could see myself answering kind of like, how do you do this? How do you do that specific question? Otherwise, I'll just keep working through problems that I encounter that I think would make an interesting video. So thank you, everyone. And again, happy July 4th to my American friends, and happy Canada Day to all my fellow Canadians. Wishing everyone a great day and a great summer. Take care. Bye.